A learning curve for sure.
Test, test.
This one's mine.
Testing.
I'm just trying to see which one.
I think I'm gonna sing one of them Alicia Keys songs, huh? I think I'm gonna sing one of them Alicia Keys songs for you. Huh?
Testing.
And we don't have to hold.
Come on in, Mr. Rodriguez. You ain't got to stay out there. Come on in.
But right now they are. I'll probably. Yeah, I think. Yep. What'd you forget? For which part? For back there or here? Oh, I got a daughter there.
All right.
I don't.
Hold on. Who are we?
I was waiting at Miss Cole.
4, 5, 6, 7. We're all here.
You already
I'm good.
coming in.
Oh, yeah.
And Mr. White, give me the thumbs up when you are ready. We're live on YouTube? All right. So it is 6:03. I'd like to call to order the April 29th, 2025 Waukegan Public School Board of Education meeting. If I can have a roll call, please.
Mr. McBride.
Yes.
Miss Fabian.
Present.
Miss Gonzalez. Here. Mr. Riddle.
Here.
Miss Hannah.
Yes.
Miss Lansing.
Present.
President Ewing.
Yes, we do have a quorum. All board members are present at this time. Mr. Silva, if you'd be so kind as to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so we do have, this is an opportunity for public comment. So at this time, I will ask for the public comment sign-up sheet. All right, there is no board president's comments. I'm gonna start with the community comments first. Just as a reminder, there are screens around the room. Each speaker gets 3 minutes. If you need translation services will be provided for you, and you will get 6 minutes. When I call your names, please come up to the podium directly in front of the board. We do ask that you refrain from mentioning student or staff member names in your remarks, and we also ask that you remain vigilant of or aware of civility. There are 2 names on tonight's list. We have Ray Vukovic and Randy Sabecki, who will come in that order. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Vukovic.
Good evening. I'd like to thank and congratulate Ms. Gonzalez and Mr. Ewing for your service on the board. It's never, you're always on the line of fire. I understand that, but, the community does thank you, and I thank you. Well, you're finally in this building. Look at that. How many years? I pointed out to Ms. Gonzalez before the meeting that this building was purchased before she came on the board, and she's completed a 4-year term. So it's finally done. But I'd like to remind this board and the new board coming in that this building was purchased and remodeled. Looks very nice. But you have other buildings in this district that are just as old. I hear that excuse a lot of times. Well, our buildings are 100 years old. Washington campus was built plus or minus 2 years when this building was built. So I would hope that the Board of Education will spend this kind of money on that building, because as nice as this building is, I don't think it's going to help raise reading scores, math scores, or improve teacher retention. But if you do some of that in the buildings, it will. I brought up in the past about your sign being 6 stories up. There's nothing at street level that indicates what this building is. As a matter of fact, there aren't even the simple numerals 214 that would indicate what the address is here. So before you invite more of the public in, you might want to go to Ace Hardware and get those 3 numbers. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vukovic. Mr. Sabecki?
Thank you. I also want to congratulate both of you for your years of service on the board. It's not easy, like Mr. Vukovic said. You're always at the complaint. But tonight, I'm going to ask about something. At the last board meeting, we talked about policy, and let's follow the policy. We didn't want to change it, some of the board members. So my question is, tonight, we had an incident over at Jack Benny where a kid brought a look-alike weapon to school. There was no expulsion hearing for that kid. I put in a FOIA request. And this is in the last 10 years. And the specific question was, in the last 10 years, number of students expelled from school for having a look-alike weapon. There was 4. All 4 were expelled from school. But yet, because a student of someone that sits up on this board, why is it different? Where's the policy that we're going to follow? It shouldn't matter. There shouldn't be different standards. We talk about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Should be different standards. Everyone should be held to the same standard, period. That should come before the board. If it's modified by the superintendent, the board should be looking at that for even overturning it. Any other student had to go that way, and it happened in my family. My niece was in Georgia, was being bullied. She brought a knife to school, was expelled from Georgia. But when then they moved back to Illinois, she had to go through high and hell water in this district to get back into this district. And she ended up graduating, and she learned from her mistakes. Ended up graduating high in her class with a full ride scholarship to veterinarian school, which she's still in today, in school, on a full ride scholarship. So sometimes kids need that. It's not to punish them, it's to teach them. That's the whole point of the education system. And like I said, all the rules need to apply across the board, whether you're sitting up there and you make these policies and procedures, or you're not. It should be the same standards for all students. And as I stated, all 4 of them were expelled. And if I remember rightly, one of those was the kindergartner. So that's something that this board needs to look into. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Sabecki. This concludes our public comment. If we can get our agenda back on the screen. All right, so we are going to go into closed session, but how do we want to do this? You want to do your remarks now, Ms. Gonzalez, if you have any, or you want to do them after closed session?
Well, it doesn't matter, but I have my phone in.
Oh, then we'll do that. So I do, just in full transparency, we're going into closed session. The next meeting is scheduled to start at 7 p.m. for the new board to be seated. So we're going to try and wrap up by about 6:45 so we can come out here and get through the other comments, as well as give this board an opportunity to make final comments before we do our sign and die. So I don't know, Superintendent, if the building is open, but to the community and the public, are we able to do any type of tours?
Not at this time.
Okay. All right. With that, I'd like a motion to go into closed session under exception C1 and C21.
Motion.
Second.
C1 personnel, C21 approval of previous closed session minutes. Had a motion from Ms. Fabian, second from Ms. Gonzalez, Ms. Lindsay. With that, I'd like a roll call.
Mr. McBride.
Yes.
Ms. Fabian.
Yes.
Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Hannah.
Yes.
Ms. Lindsay.
Yes.
President Ewing.
Yes, all right, we are going into closed session, and again, we'll be back at around 6:45 to continue, finish this meeting, and then the new board will be seated. That meeting is scheduled for 7 p.m. Thank you.
I get the new card, I get all that stuff, but like when you leave it in the plastic, see how this has the purple transfer? That's what I'm talking about. So I like I'll do it at home. It's fine. I'll just put some tape over it. I got it. I got it.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, that is like super live. Clear. I don't.
All right, Mr. White, the board, let me know when you're ready, Jazz.
Hold on. Good to go.
Ready?
Yep.
Ready? All right. So the board did just meet in closed session under C1 and C21. I'd like all board members are currently present, still present, like a motion to resume open session.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Riddle, seconded by Ms. Lensing. All in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. We are back in open session. With that, there are two things on the agenda. I'll take these separately. I'm gonna do it slightly. Yeah, that's fine. All right, item 7A, acceptance of the canvass of votes cast in the April 1st, 2025 election. Do we have a motion to approve?
Second. Well, they have to,
I thought you were gonna.
yeah, she's gotta say them first.
Say what?
The canvassing vote.
Okay, read. There's no.
Yeah, that's
what
fine.
do you got?
Yeah, she gotta,
Does she just
Which
need to
is
say who
the
won this
second
election?
meeting. Organization. This isn't the organization meeting.
Say is accept as presented. Accept as a.
I'll second.
All in favor, signify with
Aye.
I'm on nay because it should be said.
Mr. Alzakis, can you come up here, please?
He know.
There's a question. He's been doing it for years. Everybody
Oh,
knows.
he has.
Huh?
Mr. Alzakis, the canvassing of the vote, is it just a matter of them saying, of us voting on them, or are they're supposed to be something read? Okay, but do we know the numbers?
All right. All in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Approved. Second, congratulations to those newly elected board members and re-elected. All right. Now we're going to have the election of Secretary Pro Tem. Did we get through the microphone?
Test.
Thank you. Thank you. What I was saying was, we have the next item. We have 7A, the acceptance of canvas that just passed. We now have item 7B, the election of the Secretary Pro Tem. You read the recommended action, Superintendent.
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Education appoint an individual to serve as Secretary Pro Tempore to preside and assist in the transition of board governance.
Go ahead.
I make a motion that, to accept the superintendent as secretary pro tem to lead this next
Second.
meeting.
Motion by Mr. Riddle, seconded by Ms. Hannah. Any comments or questions on the motion? All in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Item passed, it's approved. So now, as we get ready to adjourn, I want to just give an opportunity to this board for any final comments. I do want to remind you of brevity because you can give comments in the next meeting as well. And that is what this is about. It's not about this board, but the incoming board and the future of District 60. But I'll start down the line with Ms. Fabian.
So I just want to say thank you again to Brandon and Adriana for stepping up and to the call of being here and serving our students. I know it's a lot of work, and just thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Lindsay?
I just want to give special notation. So, Adriana, I really respected how you've handled this role, and I think you brought a lot of great insight to this Board of Education in this district, and I'm personally sad you didn't rerun, but I wish you all the best in your future. I think you did a great job. Board President Ewing, I also think you did an amazing job. I think you were consistent and you were fair and you showed respect to others in all situations, and I think that is a really good role model of what we can expect for a future board president.
Thank you, Ms. Lindsay. Ms. Board Vice President Hannon.
As others have said, Adriana, you became a really good board member, and you did your homework. You attended committee meetings, and you did board work, and so I thank you for that. And good luck with your endeavors, and take a break. Mr. Ewing, you have been the board president for 8 years? 6 years, and there's been a lot of challenges, and it's hard. I have said as board president before, and I do know the challenges that you faced and everything, but I just want to say thank you for your service, and you have you kind of set a bar.
Thank you, Ms. Hanna. Mr. McBride.
As they all echoed, both of you done a great job, but Brandon, for such a young man, I got a great deal of respect for you, and I say that because of the fact that you have dealt with a lot of adversity coming from out of the community, but you was able to maintain and hold your grounds. And I've seen a lot of older board members over my last 4 years and my last, should I say, 16 years of sitting here, and you have inspired me to the point to where as though you got an old soul. I don't know where it comes from, but you sure got one. And Adriana, I want to appreciate your integrity. You showed a lot of honesty since you've been here, and that means something to me. When I can look at you and I can tell, and I can say, you are honest. I don't have to worry about, as the OJs say, no backstabbing and all that. I haven't seen that in you. So I want to appreciate. I want to just say I appreciate you once again as another young soul sitting on this board, and that's going to change, as you can see. You got Mr. Rodriguez coming. He's just as old as me and Mr. Riddles. And so hopefully we as seniors do the right thing, and we old enough to do the right thing. So with that, I have nothing else to say.
Thank you, Mr. McBride. Mr. Riddle.
Yes, I want to echo all of those comments. They are heartfelt, and I think all of us board members agree that we are losing two very. Is it on? The light is on? All right. Yeah. So I just want to say that we're losing two very good, solid board members who have really dedicated the last 6 years or 8 years. 8? Oh, well, 4 years for you. I wish it was 6 or 8 for you. Adriana, again, as Mr. McBride said, you have come back as a young person in our community, given more than 100%, 200%, I'd say. Your honesty, your perception of what is going on, and your willingness and courage to speak your mind in a truthful manner and in a respectful manner has really inspired me. So I know you're going to go on to do great things in our community, and I wish you all well. I know you're staying in Waukegan because you've bought a house in Waukegan, so you're committed, you're planted here, and I think that's exciting for our Waukegan community. And Brandon, I have been inspired by what you have done, the way you've conducted yourself, the respectful manner in which you have always spoke to each one of us board members and the community has inspired me. I'm telling you, and your thoughtful manner, the way the way you have summarized what the board is really wanting to project to our community and the work that we have to do. Your caring for our community and our children especially has inspired me. So I know you're going to continue to do great things in the community, and I just want to thank you truly for being here and taking that role, which few of us on this board have the capacity, the ability to be a board president and to try to mold 7 people in the effort and direction that we have to go as a board in a community. So I want to thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Riddle. Ms. Gonzalez. Yeah, you heard. I'll close out and then we're done.
Okay, I'll try to be brief, but it's not gonna happen. Thank you for all my fellow board members. I feel kind of in shock. I'm like, wow. Everyone knows my first year was really rough, and I wish that this is how we could have acted the entire time that we were aboard. But those are the growing pains, and I know we wouldn't be upset if it didn't matter to us about some of the decisions that we have to make. And I know you guys will continue the good work to, keep the direction that we want for all of the students in the district and to hold the superintendent accountable to those goals. So I did write something, and I want to say thank you to Mr. McBride because integrity is my favorite word. It's one of my favorite words. And so I'll say my comments. And I'll congratulate the new board members. First, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to everyone in the school community who I've met these past 4 years. I know so many brilliant people who work to see students succeed in Waukegan, and I am lucky enough to have reconnected with alumni friends who've made it their mission to make the lives of youth better as well. When I went to college to study policy and Latin American history, there was never a doubt in my mind where I wanted to land after I graduated, even though people often ask me, why did you come back? There are many reasons why I returned, but one ambition was the clearest in my mind. I can go anywhere in the world to try to make an impact. Why can't I start at home where I have roots? When I campaigned with Brandon, I made Juntos aprendemos, unidos vencemos our motto. Together we learn, united we win or achieve. And I believe in that motto still. We currently live in a political climate that favors the wealthy. Many of us from communities who are economically exploited and historically disenfranchised can't afford to be apathetic or uninformed, especially when our public safeguards are threatened, like our public schools. I ran because I don't like what I see when I listen to the leaders who are supposed to represent me, and I don't like how people talk about the place that I'm from and where I live. I know that we have the capacity to be a community that holds each other down when we need it most. We just have to stay steadfast and prioritize the things that matter. And to me, what matters is helping young people become full participants of a democracy that values their insight, their inquisitiveness, their courage, their attitude, and their imaginations. What matters to me is building a world aligned to values of inclusivity and justice. That world is still far from us. Educational institutions have the capacity to allow young people to become leaders if we make it our focus. As a team, we've had a lot of achievements, of which I'm proud, like increasing the salaries of staff at all levels, reviewing policy to see where they could be updated and better fit for students and families, reviewing requirements needed for graduation as the state mandates change, and financing several capital improvement projects, including the creation of the Wraparound Center and this new board space downtown. I also know that there is much more we could have accomplished and that we should accomplish, and that's why I'm super excited to pass the baton to keep this vital work going. I bought my home just down the street from Washington campus, around the corner from where I grew up, and I continue to serve on the Waukegan Schools Foundation to give scholarships to talented students in need of economic relief. And I continue to live in community with friends whom I have known since my younger school years by attending shows, concerts, and occasional games. So I'll never be too far from the school community, especially far from my teachers and the friends of mine who have become teachers. So I thank you again for giving me an opportunity to serve.
Wow.
So, final comments before we adjourn. 8 years ago, I ran on the promise and the campaign slogan, "Running for the Future." It was a call to action, a belief that our kids deserve more than the status quo, that every decision we make at this table has to be about preparing them, not just for tomorrow, but for the next decade and beyond. That belief lit a fire in me, and it's what kept me going through late nights, tough conversations, and difficult votes. When I ran for re-election with Board Member Gonzalez, we offered a new rallying cry. Together we learn, united we achieve. That wasn't just a slogan, but it was a guiding principle. I've learned deeply from this community, from parents, students, educators, and my fellow board members. And I've seen what's possible when we put aside our differences and focus on what unites us, our belief in our children and in the power of public education. It is bittersweet to say goodbye. This work has been very personal, not political. It's been about legacy, about building something our children and grandchildren can be proud of. But I do leave with peace in my heart because I know we can do hard things. I've seen it time and again in this district, from turning around schools to raising staff wages to investing in facilities that our students and teachers deserve. Change wasn't easy and it's never easy, but it is necessary. To the incoming board, you are stepping into a critical moment. There are big questions on the horizon about how we educate, how we fund, how we innovate, and how we respond to a changing world. You'll be tasked with making tough decisions that will shape the district for years to come. Some in our community believe this board hasn't done enough. And whether or not you agree, their voices must be heard. I encourage you to listen carefully, respond with humility, and lead with courage. Let your actions show the community that you are willing to do the hard things to give our students what they truly deserve. And speaking of our students, they are incredible. They are creative, they are resilient, they are brilliant, and they are full of promise. They have inspired me more than they will ever know. They've shown me what perseverance looks like in real time. They are the reason that I serve, that we serve, and they must always be at the center of every conversation, every policy, and every budget. As I leave this seat, I leave with gratitude. Thank you for trusting me with this responsibility. My time on this board ends, but my commitment to this community will never end. And so keep working for the future. And to my fellow board members, I thank you for, like I said, supporting me, for encouraging me, for inspiring me, for mentoring me, but also for trusting me for 6 years to lead this board as your board president. And so with that, I would like to motion that we adjourn, sign a die. I have a motion, and then I have a second. Aye. Any opposed, nay? Meeting is adjourned.
I'll be right on the street. Don't worry.
All right, take care.
Good luck. Don't get yourself riled up. All right.
I mean, she got a point.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
So we need the new board members to come stand.
Oh, she didn't get to take her.
Say it again.
Adriana.
Can we have the new board members join us now, please?
I think the slide in. The slide in. The slide in.
Randy, you here?
Where are their names?
Yeah. We took, here. Oh.
You guys get seats.
Because we were out there when we took ours. So I don't understand. Shouldn't we have them take the oath out there and then join us up here?
Maybe I don't like.
That makes more sense.
Hey, Mike, by you.
Miss Hannah asked them to come back. Miss Lindsay?
What?
Hannah asked them to come back.
Oh, I see. I see.
Okay, we ready? Nick, where do you want them seated? They can sit anywhere they like. Well, let's get this going, come on. All right. Do the new board members come sit now?
They can sit down.
Ms. Ramirez and Mr. Rodriguez, if you want to grab a seat, there's some seats there. I believe there's one over there.
Just down there and then we'll.
Down
Mike, yeah,
here.
maybe you want to sit down there.
You ain't lost, are you?
All right.
That way.
Here, you want to sit?
Oh, and then.
There's one over here.
Oh, there is one there. Oh.
Oops.
Got us all three together. Three amigos.
Yeah.
You ready? You ready? You ready? Okay.
Mr. Alasakis?
Okay, we ready? As secretary for the elected members of the board, and as per item 1 on our agenda, I would like to call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. McBride,
Yes.
Ms. Fabian,
Yes.
Mr. Riddle,
Yes.
Ms. Hannah,
Yes.
Ms. Lensing.
Yes.
As per item 2 on the agenda, I now will call attendance in alphabetical order, taking into account the abstract of votes from the election of April 1st, 2025, from the office of the Lake County Clerk. Ms. Fabian,
Yes.
Ms. Hannah,
Yes.
Ms. Lensing,
Present.
Mr. McBride,
Present.
Ms. Ramirez,
Present.
Mr. Riddle,
Present.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Present.
Let the record reflect that 7 members are present, reflecting a quorum. At this time, I'd like to call for the Pledge of Allegiance. Will Ms. Session lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Sessions. As reflected at item 4A of our agenda, I will now ask our exiting board president, Mr. Brandon Ewing, to deliver the oath of office to our members. May I ask our 4 elected board members to please stand in the front as President Ewing delivers the oath.
So out by the.
Or you can stand.
Right there? Okay. He said stand right where you are.
That mic needs me on.
That's where it's on the screen.
Use your corporate voice.
1, 2. There we go. A little bit softer now. All right. So the Waukegan Public School Board Member Oath of Office. I, and then state your name.
I,
Anita Hannah,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
of member of the Board of Education
of member of the Board of Education
of the Waukegan Community Unit School District 60,
The Waukegan Community Unit School District 60.
in accordance with the Constitution
in accordance with the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
the Constitution
Constitution
of the State of Illinois,
of the State of Illinois,
and the laws.
and laws
You guys can read it. I don't want to go too fast. Of the State of Illinois,
of the State of Illinois,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
I further swear
I further swear
that
that
I shall respect taxpayer interests
I shall respect taxpayer interests
by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets.
by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets.
I shall encourage and respect
I shall encourage and respect
the free expression of opinion
the free expression of opinion
by my fellow board members
by my fellow board members
and others who seek a hearing before the board,
and others who seek a hearing before the board,
while respecting the privacy
while respecting the privacy
of students and employees.
of students and employees.
I shall recognize
I shall recognize
that a board member has no legal authority
that a board member has no legal authority
as an individual,
as an individual,
and that decisions can be made
and that decisions can be made
only by a majority vote
only by a majority vote
at a public board meeting.
at a public board meeting.
I shall abide by the majority decisions of the board
I shall abide by the majority decisions of the board
while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions
while retaining the right to
seek
seek
changes
changes
in
in
such
such
decisions
through ethical and constructive channels.
through ethical and constructive channels.
channel.
As part of the Board of Education,
As part of the
Board
Board
of
of Education,
Education,
I shall accept the responsibility for my role
I shall accept the responsibility for my role
in the equitable and quality education of every student in the school district.
and equitable and quality education of every student in the school district.
I shall foster with the board extensive participation of the community,
I shall foster the board extensive participation of the community,
formulate goals,
formulate goals,
define outcomes,
define outcomes,
and set the course for Waukegan Community Unit School District number 60.
and set the course for Waukegan Community Unit School District number 60.
I shall assist in establishing a structure and an environment
I shall assist in establishing a structure and an environment
designed to ensure all students have the opportunity
designed to ensure all students have the opportunity
to attain their maximum potential
to attain their maximum potential
through a sound organizational framework.
through
through
a
a
sound
sound
organizational
organizational
framework.
framework.
I shall strive to ensure
I shall strive to ensure
a continuous assessment of student achievement
a continuous assessment of student achievement
in all conditions affecting the education of our children,
and all conditions affecting the education of our children
in compliance with state law.
in
In
compliance with state law.
I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students in our community schools.
I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students and our community schools
To advance the vision for the Waukegan Public Schools,
to advance the vision for Waukegan Community Schools.
and I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district.
and I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district
Toward fulfilling the vision the board has created,
toward fulfilling the vision the board has created,
created,
fostering excellence for every student in the areas of
fostering excellence for every student in the areas of
academic skills,
academic skills,
knowledge,
knowledge,
citizenship,
citizenship,
and personal development.
personal development.
Congratulations.
As reflected at item 4B of our agenda, it is my honor to confirm those members who have taken the oath of office are officially recognized as members of the Board of Education. Congratulations. As reflected on item 5A of our agenda, it is my honor to call upon the members of the board to nominate one or more members to serve as board president.
I nominate Michael Rodriguez.
Yep, I would like to make a nomination of Miss Anita Hanna.
We need a second for each one?
What item coming?
No.
That's how we did it last time.
Are there any more nominations for president? Seeing that there are no more nominations, nominations are closed, and we will call for a vote in the order of nominations. The question is, shall Michael Rodriguez be the president of the board? I will now call for a roll call vote on the question. Ms. Fabian?
Yes.
Ms. Hanna?
No.
Ms. Lindsay?
No, excuse me. Point of order. The way we did it last time when I came on the board is we had comments and questions before we did the voting. So I'm confused on why we're changing the format this year.
Do we need comments and questions?
We did it last time.
If you would like comments and questions, I'm sure we can put that in there. It's not in the script that Ms. Vanderbroek left us, and my understanding, it was from the previous year.
So
I don't
previously, when I joined the board, I had comments and questions. There had been no questions previously, and I asked each of the candidates 3 questions,
You did.
which they both answered.
You absolutely did. So we can put that in there.
Okay, thank you.
So it came in after they nominated them and you were able to ask questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and there was only one nomination at that time, so that could be
So
part of the
I'm
confusion.
going to circle back before we call the vote, and I am going to ask for comments or questions for the board for Mr. Michael Rodriguez.
Okay. So I have 3 questions that I asked when I first became a board member that I'm going to remain consistent with. So, Mr. Rodriguez, what qualities do you possess that you believe will make you effective in the role that you are nominated for?
Well, I've served on the board before. Is this on?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been a member of the Board of Education. I served for 12 years. And I believe that during that time, I demonstrated leadership abilities, and I have the motivation to work to improve the school district and the programs in the school district. I am a father of 9 children. 5 of them actually went through the Waukegan school system. They all graduated from Waukegan High School, went on to college. And I have grandchildren that have gone through the district and 3 grandchildren that are currently in the district. And my motivation is to do the best that I can to make the school district the best that it can be and provide the best education for all of our children.
Okay. My second question is, how do you intend to ensure that respect and accountability are keystone for how both this board and their 2 employees, our superintendent and our legal counsel, operate?
Please repeat that.
Sure. How do you intend to ensure that respect and accountability are keystones for how both this board and their 2 employees, our superintendent and legal counsel, operate?
Okay, well, first of all, example. Actually setting an example for accountability and respect, treating people with respect, being accountable for the responsibilities that I have on the board, and expecting no less of everybody else that we're involved with, whether it's the superintendent or her staff or teachers or students.
Okay, and then my last question is, how dedicated are you to ensure that student achievement, teacher and staff support, accountability, appropriate resource acquisition and allocation, safety, culture, and climate serve as the guiding pillars for this Board of Education?
Well, that's the oath that we take. And I am dedicated to living the oath. of office that I took.
And then do you want me to ask the same questions of Ms. Hannah now?
I didn't know.
Okay.
Ms. Lenzing, if you want to proceed with Ms. Hannah.
So Ms. Hannah, what qualities do you possess that you believe will make you effective in the role that you were nominated for?
I've been consistently elected by the community 8 consecutive times. And I am dedicated to the education of the children here in District 60. I am intimately involved in one of the biggest issues that surrounds our children, and that is literacy. Literacy, teaching our children to read and be proficient in reading. I am passionate about what I do, and the qualifications are my heart for children, my heart for my community that I live in, and the school district that I attended. All of my family members attended. My children, my grandchildren. I still have one attending in the district, and for all those future students that are to come. And that is my commitment and dedication to what I do as a board member.
Thank you. And how do you intend to ensure that respect and accountability are keystones for how both this board and their 2 employees, our superintendent and legal counsel, operate?
Well, the holding our employees accountable for the work performances, for the issues and challenges that may come up, for the celebrations of our students, celebrations of our staff, but mainly it has to be accountability, real-time accountability.
Okay. And how dedicated are you to ensure that student achievement, teacher and staff support, accountability, appropriate resource acquisition and allocation, safety, culture, and climate serve as the guiding pillars for this Board of Education?
I just took an oath. That oath has been with me for 29 years now, and I consider that oath something sacred to me, and I stand by it, not only for myself, but also as for my family. Vowed to them that I would do the best job that I can, would never embarrass our family name, and continue to work for the students only. The students are why we all are here, and that is my main focus. It will continue to be my main focus. There's no political agenda that I have, never have, and I will operate in that manner.
Thank you both for answering my questions. I nominated Ms. Hannah for board president of the Waukegan Community Unit School District Number 60 Board of Education, because in this time of uncertainty, both nationally and locally, we need someone with experience to carry us through. Ms. Hannah has faithfully served this community for nearly 30 years, and with that comes a wealth of knowledge as it relates to the Illinois School Code and functions and governance of a school board. She has consistently attended meetings and is aware of the goings-on in our district. Unfortunately for the other candidate nominated, from his words himself, he's not sure what's going on in the school district. That was done at our student union, so that was of great concern to me. For the few times our prior board president wasn't able to make it to a meeting, Ms. Hannah was able to step into the role seamlessly, ensuring the meeting was conducted appropriately. At a time when we are in need of rebuilding trust with our community, Ms. Hannah has held the community's trust for decades and was even the top vote getter in this recent election, showing our community has faith in her. Ms. Hannah has the history of Waukegan Public Schools to look back on and constantly advocates for a better future for all of our students. Most impactful, Ms. Hannah has spearheaded the Science of Reading initiative. Not only has her focused work on literacy brought benefits to our students, but to students statewide. And for these reasons, I believe she's the best option for our board president. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lensing. Does any other board member have any questions at this time? No? Okay. So at this time, I'm going to call the question. I will now call for a roll call vote on the question for Michael Rodriguez as the president of the board. Ms. Fabian?
Yes.
Ms. Hannah?
No.
Ms. Lensing?
No.
Mr. McBride? No. Ms. Ramirez?
Yes.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
We do have a quorum, 4 board members who voted, so it is my honor to confirm that Michael.
Can we call the other vote, please, too? Call my vote, too.
I thought we only.
What's the point? What's
First
the point of
4.
that?
First, for the point of order,
Well,
it's the first one that gets 4 votes.
Right, but I never got any votes.
It's the first one, so as soon as he got the first 4, yeah.
So it is my honor to confirm that Michael Rodriguez has been elected president of the school board. Mr. President, I turn the meeting over to you.
What? Well, that's coming up. We do.
Mr. Ewing, would you like your name tag?
Yeah, well, I'll get
Make sure we get it done.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone in the community that voted for me. Thank you for your confidence in me, and thank you for my fellow board members for electing me president of the Board of Education. During the time that I was on the Board of Education, I served for 12 years. I was president for 8 years. I didn't miss one meeting during my time. I showed real dedication, and I continue to show the same dedication during the next 4 years. Next item on the agenda is election of board vice president.
Board President, I'd like to move and nominate Carolina Fabian.
We have a motion.
I'd like to nominate Christine Lindsay.
Do we have a second?
Oh, I nominate Miss Anita Hannah for vice president.
Did you hear the second over here?
Do we need a second?
No, we had a second over here.
Okay.
That was the second for
Second for
Carolina.
Carolina,
She
okay.
had said that. Yeah, I don't know if you acknowledged it.
Hello?
Am I coming through?
It's on.
Yes.
It's on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Do we need to do a second for the
Okay,
others?
do we need a second for each nomination?
Yes.
Okay, we had nomination
Yes.
for Ms. Lensing. Do we have a second?
Yes,
Yes, we did.
Okay, who seconded?
I did.
Okay,
You
No,
presented.
she
You made the
motioned.
you made the nomination.
Oh, yeah, I made the nomination for you.
Mhm.
Yes.
Do we have a second?
Yes.
Yes, she seconds the
She's
nomination.
I'll
seconding.
Ms.
second.
Lensing seconds the nomination.
Okay.
Okay. We also had a nomination for Ms. Anita Hannah as vice president. Do we have a second for that nomination?
Second.
Second by Mr. McBride. Okay. Do we have any comments or questions before we call the roll for a vote?
Yes, so Ms. Fabian, I will ask the same 3 questions. What qualities do you possess that you believe will make you effective in the role that you are nominated for?
I have over 2 decades of experience in educational environment. And so I have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to school policy, code, procedures. Currently, I work at the state level, and so I get informed of lots of grants and trajectories and trends within the school district. So as far as qualities, I'm very dedicated to being a lifelong learner and instilling that into other children. I also am a parent in this district and have various family members and friends that work in the district and are dedicated to just inspiring our children. And I've been with the district for about 2 decades now in several capacities.
How do you intend to ensure that respect and accountability are keystones for both our board and our 2 employees, our superintendent and legal counsel, operate?
So I agree with Mr. Rodriguez. It's about how we present ourselves. We have to be the role models for that integrity and respect, and that we have to show that accountability. And so I intend to continue doing that. I think those that know me know that I've been doing that consistently throughout my time in the district, not just as a board member, but even when I was a staff member.
And how dedicated are you to ensure that student achievement, teacher and staff support, accountability, appropriate resource acquisition and allocation, safety, culture, and climate serve as the guiding pillars for this Board of Education?
So apart from our oath, I am a parent, as I stated before, and I have other children and children that I have taught that are still in this district, and so I'm highly dedicated. The fact that I left the district and came back to become a school board member should tell you how dedicated I am to this community. In addition to being a school board member, I also serve on the foundation. I serve in various community roles, and I consistently give back and am willing to partner and foster relationships throughout our community to ensure that we are able to do these things not just alone and in a silo as Waukegan Public Schools, but to also work with our city and other community organizations, because I fully believe that we do need those partnerships in order to hit all of those pillars. In addition to working alongside with a lot of these staff members, again, understanding their needs and their strengths. We have wonderful people that work here, and we have amazing children. And so again, holding them up and lifting them up, I think I have proven my dedication to this city.
Thank you. And Ms. Hannah, do your answers stand as you presented for board president if you were to serve as vice president?
They do.
And Ms. Lindsay, can we ask you to answer the same questions?
Sure, I think that's
Please.
very fair. I do appreciate the nomination, Ms. Hannah, with regard to what qualities I possess that I feel would make me effective in this role. I think that I consistently push forward the board to be transparent with our community, to be communicative, to ensure that we're building relationships and rebuilding that trust, to making sure that we're pouring love into our students. These are the things that we need to focus on right now with where we are headed toward this country. So yes, there is value in expertise in other areas, but we need some sort of guidance or champion to make sure that these are always at the forefront. And I'm not consistently hearing that across the board. So I would hope that as vice president, that could be a louder sounding board for myself. My intentions to ensure that respect and accountability are keystones. Those are things that I've been saying from the beginning. From something as basic as saying someone's name correctly, giving people their titles. It's Dr. Cesario. It's Dr. Bublitz. It's Dr. Yes, Dr. Fields. I was going to say Tasia, but I was like, that's not her last name. And accountability is something I've been asking for a very long time. It's what my team championed when we were trying to be on the board when I first got elected. And it's something that I want to see. And it's not just from one person, it's from everyone. If there were 2 wrongs, then you don't address one wrong. Both need to be addressed. And so those things that I continue to champion both in front of the public and behind the scenes. With regard to how dedicated I am to ensure that the STARS platform continues while I'm a board member, that's always been my guiding pillars. These are the basics. Yes, it's part of the oath, but it's what our kids deserve. It's what our community deserves. It's what our staff deserves. And I don't think I've done anything to show anyone that I intend to do any differently.
Thank you. Okay, we are going to call the question. Oh, let me ask, are there any other questions from any other board members? Ms. Hannah?
I would just like to ask Ms. Fabian that you are oftentimes not in attendance, and how would you, how effective would the position be with the apps?
So as you know, Miss Hannah, I was not in attendance because I had personal family matters that I had to take care of, and those family matters are improving. I don't share that with the board because that is personal to me as well as with my health. So there are things that I have been doing to improve both situations, and they have been improving. And so I am dedicated to being here.
Thank you.
I have one additional question, only because you serve both with ISB and for the Board of Education. My only concern is when we're out at conferences, how are you going to distinguish when you're being our board vice president or a board member versus being an employee with ISB?
I do it now, so whether or not I was a vice president, president, secretary, if I'm a board member, I'm a board member. If I'm as ISB, I'm ISB. Me working at ISB is actually an asset to this board because I am privy to a lot of changes and what's going on a lot faster than other districts are. With ISB, I am also very careful. If I am at a conference as an ISB employee, I have a label that says that. If I'm at a conference as a board member, I have a label that says that. So there is not ever, I present myself that way, and I do let people know that, yes, I am both, but when I am talking to them, I present myself as I'm a board member. Just like when you're a parent and you go to a school, you present yourself as I'm Christine Lensing, a parent, not board member, right? So there's a way to communicate that out with people so that they understand what role you're playing in the moment.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, we're going to call the question of, is there word here? Okay. Of the nomination of Ms. Fabian as Vice President of the Board of Education. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes.
Ms. Hannah?
No.
Ms. Lensing?
No.
Mr. McBride?
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez?
Yes.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
President Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries. We now have a new Vice President, Ms. Carolina Fabian. Congratulations. Next item on the agenda, item 5C, is election of the Board Secretary.
Do you
have
need
to
a
nominate?
nomination?
Yeah,
Do we
we
need
need
a
a
nomination?
nomination to determine the will of the board to confirm the nominee to serve as Board Secretary. We need a nomination.
Okay,
I
I'll
nominate our superintendent, Ms. Teresa Placencia.
We have a nomination by Ms. Lensing. We have
Second.
a second by Mr. Riddle. Any discussion? Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Fabian?
Yes.
Ms. Hannah?
Yes.
Ms. Lensing?
Yes.
Mr. McBride?
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez?
Yes.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
President Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Item 6. Item 6A, approval of the board meeting calendar from May 13th, 2025 to April 27th, 2027.
At this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Alajakis to come up to propose the board meeting calendar.
We're still learning. We got it. So, good evening, Board of Education, Board President. Congratulations to our newest members. Hello, members of the community. So this evening, I'm going to try and quickly walk through the proposal that is before you for our board meeting structure adjustment. We are proposing a slight adjustment to our board meeting structure. There are two options that you saw in board docs. There's option 1 that I'm going to talk about, and option 2, which is essentially what we're doing currently. So Option one is, well, to just kind of start, the setting of the board calendar is one of the first items that a Board of Education does when they are first seated, and you guys are all aware of this. And that's what we're here to do tonight. You're going to be setting your regular board meeting calendar from May through April of 2027 for those 2 years, just as we do every year. The calendar determines how often the board is meeting, how they make decisions are made, they receive updates, engagement with the community, etc. The current structure, just so everyone is aware, right now there's 3 separate dates where we conduct essentially 3 meetings. You've got on the second Tuesday, your regular main governing board, which is a business meeting. Different districts call it different things. Just on the third Tuesday, we got the Student Achievement and Operations Services, Committee of the Whole meetings. Technically 2 meetings, but they fall together on the same day. Fourth Tuesday is similar to the second Tuesday, where we've got our regular main governing board business meetings. And then you got some exceptions in like March, July, and December because of holidays, school breaks. There's also 3 budget workshops, as you guys are aware, traditionally early May, early June, early August. And then, as we all know, there's special meetings as needed throughout the year. So what's being proposed is a 2-day, 3-meeting model. So under this proposed model, the board would continue to host 3 meetings on most months, but instead of on 3 dates, it would be consolidated over 2 dates. So the second Tuesday would serve, we'd have like a regular meeting that we're calling, and the name can change, a micro meeting for now. So it's still a regular meeting of the Board of Education. It's going to have a closed session, it's going to have an open session, and it's going to be followed by the operational services and student achievement committee meetings. So all of that would occur on one evening. That first meeting would be generally 1 hour, primarily for closed session to go over some legal items. We're going to get into all of that on some future slides. And then you'd open up the committee meetings, which are going to be held, traditionally as we know the committee meetings. On the fourth Tuesday of the month, we're proposing the regular governing meeting as we kind of come to know it over the years. Exceptions would, again, March and December, we're going to get into what that would mean, and July. And then special meetings and budget workshops will continue to be scheduled. So what is a regular micro meeting? As I said before, it's a regular meeting of the board. It's streamlined. It's regularly scheduled. That's what the board is going to be taking action on tonight if you choose this model. And it'll be held prior to the committee meetings. You'll be convening in closed session for timely discussions. As the board knows, main things, personnel, legal, some student matters that might come up and are timely, because we know having at least 2 closed sessions a month is important because of the business that we're getting to and because of the importance of giving the board timely updates on matters. You'll then have a condensed open session where we may see some things from like paying the bills. That's important. There may be occasional things from finance or HR, but we're going to try to avoid putting items that may normally appear in purchases and contracts. Those are going to be coming in that 4th meeting following their discussion in the committee meetings. Key features, the main thing, scheduled for predictability. It's increasing flexibility. And we say increases flexibility because anyone who's been on the board knows we do a fair share of special meetings, right? And oftentimes it's kind of difficult to find those dates where the special meetings can be held because we have a few regularly scheduled meetings. Just to put on everyone's radar, your next special meeting will probably be student board member interviews in early June. So by freeing up a Tuesday, that's going to allow for those special meetings. And also it's maintaining compliance with the Open Meetings Act. Some exceptions. July, we know we don't generally have meetings in July. We will be having 1 board meeting in July now, that regular meeting at the end of the month. March, November, and December, instead of having it on the 4th Tuesday, and previously we were just not holding that second meeting in December and in March, we're going to move it to the 3rd Tuesday. So on the 3rd Tuesday of March and December, because of breaks, and November because of Thanksgiving, is when we will have that regular, longer meeting. As again, special meetings can be scheduled. Budget workshops, May, June, and August, just so everyone has it on their calendar. The first budget workshop for this board is going to be on Monday, May 12th, which will be the day before the first regular meeting that you get together. Just for, you can see visually how it looks. Next slide shows the calendars. Your green dates are your micro meetings and your committee meetings. Your blue dates are the regular meetings. Structure highlights, it enables timely close and open session. This is some of the highlights of the micro meeting. It's going to enable for some timely close and open session action. 2 monthly meetings for votes as needed. It respects the time of the board members. It respects the time of the staff. And also, the 2 dates a month kind of matches many peer districts. We looked at some other districts on the next slide to see what they're doing. And so these are all larger districts, unit districts with north of 12,000 students in the state of Illinois. And they're all on that 2 meeting a month, 2 gatherings of the board a month. And it kind of varies how they do it. Some will do 2 business meetings, no committee meetings. Some will do a business plus a committee. There's some, and you could see it, it's in more detail on the verbiage that exists with the agenda item. Some will do a brief meeting before the committee meeting as well. And that concludes the presentation on what we're proposing. Obviously, the board has the option to go with this, which is option 1 in your board docs. You can also go with option 2, which is still in there and has a full list of calendar to maintain the current structure, which would be regular board meetings on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday, and your committee meetings continuing on the 3rd, with some of those exceptions that exist at December and March and July.
Okay.
Ms. Hannah.
Thank you, Nicholas, for all of that information. However, that's board work to set the parameters, the structure of our meetings, when we're going to have them, all of that. That's board work, sir. And I mean, I appreciate everything that you presented, but actually, it's board work.
We didn't do it when we got in. We just gave the calendar and voted on it. Or we just received the calendar and voted on it.
Right.
Mr.
That was
Alaj-
back to 2013.
It was already.
By whom, though?
Mr. Alajakis, can you explain,
Right.
as I had asked you, I actually brought up the concern that Ms. Hannah brought up, and you gave me an explanation about the proposals have to come. I'll let you speak to that.
So we as an administration are not selecting the model. We are proposing models, as is generally, the administration will make a recommendation and the Board of Education has the opportunity to vote. If the Board of Education wants to go with the recommendation, they can vote for it. If they prefer to go with option 2, they can. Traditionally, what's happened since 2013 at least, prior to 2013, we had the 2 board meetings a month. There weren't the committee meetings. After 2013, we started adding that 3rd committee meeting, and the Board of Education, every 2 years, we would bring forward essentially the same calendar for the board to vote. Seeing some of the changing ways that other districts are operating, seeing some of the effectiveness that's out there, we wanted to bring forward another proposal for the board to look at, to discuss. Obviously, it's the board's prerogative on which of the 2 structures they feel best fits the needs of the school district.
We don't have any.
Ms. Lindsay?
It was in the agenda.
So here are my concerns, right? There's a lot of things that this board needs to get through. There's a lot of discussion. Oftentimes we have to ask follow-up questions because we're not given all of the information up front. We've had Mr. McBride, our prior board president, talk about how long these meetings go. So now we're removing a meeting and we're potentially either increasing the length of these 2 meetings that we're going to have during a month, or we're going to be making decisions with less information, both of which give me concern. So I don't think that this is a good option. If we can get to a point where everything's streamlined, we have a template with presenting the board with information. Most of that information is available. If there's questions asked ahead of time, that's communicated to the public so we don't have to go through the rigmarole to re-asking them in public so that they're aware of the details that are supporting our decisions. I understand there's different understandings of that, but based on my first CUBE experience, that is something that should be happening. We shouldn't be having these questions outside of it. Until we get that under wrap, I think removing a meeting is going to be at a disservice to this board and to this district.
Ms. Fabian?
So in going to conferences and meeting with other school districts, even nationally, I have yet to run into one that has 3 meetings. There is no reason that our school district could not function with 2 meetings. We used to do them prior. I think you said 2013 is when it changed into 3 meetings. But I remember there was a time when we had 2 board meetings. I think, Ms. Lensing, I understand what you're saying as far as, I don't think that we are going to make decisions with less information. I think it is our job to do that research, to look at the agenda, ask the questions, to look at the committee meeting agenda and come prepared to ask the questions so that we do get our questions answered ahead and prior to the meeting vote. We have been told time and time again from our IASB representative that these meetings are a meeting in the public, right? So this is where we're just conducting business, and we should be coming already ready to vote, understanding what we're voting on, having that knowledge, and it should be streamlined. But I think that's something that we have to work on as a board to be a little bit more effective. And if it's because we're not getting information from administration, then that's where we have to put accountability on them to follow up in a more timely manner. Or guess what? We take that item off of that agenda until they get it right. But I think that's something that we need to be accountable ourselves in making this process more streamlined, and us doing the homework and making sure that we understand what we're voting on prior to coming here.
So my pushback on that, Ms. Fabian, is that our representative says that. I've gone to conferences, multiple, and asked others about their interpretation of OMA and asking questions. And this is a meeting in public, and it differs from our representative. And we are at a point, I don't want to be interrupted, we are at a point where we do not have trust with this community. Time and time again, we lack trust with this community. And now we want to go ahead and have our brand new board and make changes, and they're going to feel again that we're rushing through decisions, not everything's transparent, and there are going to be aspects, yes, that aren't for public consumption because of the sensitive nature of that information. However, if we're going to build bridges, you have to have information. You have to be proactive about it. And if it's not in the agenda, people do their homework and prepare for the meetings and read through the material, and there's still going to be questions.
Absolutely.
Again, generally, I have seen that sometimes we don't come here completely prepared. I think that is our responsibility to come with the information ready to vote. And again, for us to build the trust, we're going to continue to do that committee meeting. We're going to continue to allow the public to ask those questions, and for us to also be transparent and ask those questions during the committee meetings. So I'm not understanding why we have to have 3 meetings when we've been able to function with 2.
Because we're in a different place in time. Mr. Elizakis, can you confirm a question for me? So when we have these 2 meetings, we have like the micro meeting, and then we have the meeting that the public gets to partake in. I wasn't searching for the word. So with that situation, are all of the agenda items that we are going to be voting on at the business meeting going to be made public and available for the community to ask about during the committee meeting? Or are we going to have new items added onto this business meeting agenda?
Are we referencing the regular micro meeting that would exist prior to the committee meetings? Or are we referencing the 4th Tuesday of the month meeting that would exist in similar fashion as it does today following committee meetings?
I'm talking about the new proposed schedule.
So the micro meeting, the objective in the discussions was to limit the amount of items that do appear on the open session agenda. You might pay bills if there's something that's pressing through personnel. You might see that, but ultimately the agenda is going to be relatively light. If you look at our first Tuesday of the month meetings right now, because we are really intentional of ensuring that we're bringing items forward at the committee meetings, at student achievement and on operations, you'll see that our first meetings of the month are generally fairly light. because we know those aren't items that we have had a chance to discuss with the board, to have the board ask questions about, to have our community members who show up to the meetings also ask questions about. And so you don't see very much on those agendas. So that's going to carry over. Where you're not going to see very much for action on the agendas, what the primary purpose is going to be is to allow the board to continue to receive the necessary updates it needs in closed session. That's going to be the largest chunk of that meeting, so you could discuss personnel issues, student matters, any pressing legal matters in a timely cadence to make sure that too much time does not pass between those for the board. And then as you come into open session, you'll see a lighter agenda. There'll still be public comment. Public comment will lead off the meetings before the board goes into its closed session, and then you'd come in and vote on any items like paying the bills, which we know our finance team prefers is done at least twice a month, and then you segue into the committee meetings once that meeting is completed.
Yeah, you know, I've been sitting here listening, and how we got to this point is because every board meeting, we don't go home till 10 o'clock at night. Let me finish, please. We also have staff that live here, got family at home, and we need to respect that. They got kids and stuff. So to keep our staff here at 10 o'clock at night, and like Carolina said, I've been to plenty of board meetings. And this board know what I'm talking about is right. What we have done, we brought somebody in from ISB to talk to us about this, because that person that's been in the district and training board members, she said she never seen nothing like this before, and it's up to y'all to do something about it. We done did that twice. We done did that twice. And I don't care what you say, I know that sitting here at 10 o'clock at night, going over and over, talking about the same thing, being redundant, then at the end of the day, you vote yes, tell me that's right. Tell me that's right. At the end of the day, you still vote yes, but you keep going over and over and over, talking about the same things, redundantly, and when you should be conducting business and moving on. But sometimes we stay here for one subject, talking about, I don't care if it might be talking about the paint on the sidewalk, how it should be painted and ain't painted right. We sat there and talked about that for an hour. That don't make no sense.
Thank you, Mr. Pride. Any other comments?
I'd like to make a motion that we keep our original schedule for our board meetings.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to keep our current schedule. That's option two. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on this motion? Okay, I'd like.
I do. I just want to say it again. And there's public members out there that confronted me about why we spending a certain time of dealing with different situations. And I just say to them, hey, look, you don't hear me sitting there talking about the same thing over and over, and you're absolutely right. But how we got to this point, public, is because of the fact, once again, not just me. Sometimes we stay. Sometimes we be here till 11 o'clock, and I don't know no board at all since I've been to conferences. They talk about us, and we just a joke, because a lot of times, like I said, there's don't make sense for us to be sitting here till no 10 o'clock at night, talking about the same thing over and over and over again. Again, like I said, I got to respect our staff. They have children, and our staff sit there and be looking at us sometimes like we ain't got good sense. Because number one, again, there's public members out there that come to the board meeting all the time. They complain because of the fact that we're talking about one subject. We spend 2 hours talking about one subject. I mean, and that subject really don't amount to all that conversation that's needed. But for some reason, I guess, I don't know, when it's all said and done, just for me being on this board the years and years, I know grandstanding when I see it.
Thank you, Ms. McBride. Any other comments, questions? Okay.
Board President, yeah, can I make a comment?
Mr. Riddle.
Along with Mr. McBride, I have respectfully been at conferences for quite a number of years and talking to other boards that are similar size to ours. And when we do talk to them, they do say, you guys spend an awful lot of time in meetings. We conduct business, and our meetings seem to run more efficiently than yours. We've had experts coming in from ISB, or IASB, I'm sorry, and they have told us as a board we can improve the way we do our meetings. I would be willing, I think, to try this new, yes, ma'am, respectfully, I would be willing to try this, even if it was only for 6 months, to see if we could improve our meetings, because we have done a lot of work with our IASB representative, and she said, it is up to you to make your meetings more efficient, if you want to do that. Your district large districts run very efficiently with just a couple meetings a month. So I would be willing to try this. It was tried evidently before I was ever on the board, and I presume it went on for many years. So I would be willing to do that because I think it would force us to be more specific and to do less talking and possibly do the research ahead of time and then ask specific questions. So I'm going to vote in favor. Well, I would be willing to propose that we try the new schedule for at least 6 months.
Another comment by Ms. Hannah.
Okay, I just want to say that what we're forgetting, board member and community, that we have heard tonight about the conditions of our district and where we are in terms of the lack of trust in the community. We have numerous issues that District 60 faces that all those other districts don't face. We have just they're consistent, constant issues that come up. Staff issues, program, student achievement, lack of student achievement. We have different issues that we have to talk about, discuss, vote on, unlike other districts that are functioning properly, that are not dysfunctional. And so we need to keep our board meetings where they are. And one of the things regarding how long the meeting takes, I've been sitting on this board for just about 30 years, 29, 30 years. The length of the agenda makes a board meeting longer. When you are putting any and everything on the agenda to get it passed, that's where conversations come in. That's where we can do the consent agenda and all that, but that's still, we have an obligation to talk about the public monies that we are spending. And that's not going to take micro conversation. And so I stand with my motion to keep the meetings as they are.
Ms. Lindsay.
I think at the end of the day, it's going to be the majority of the board.
Right.
And that's understood. I think an element that I would hope the board seriously considers this time is, if we're going to have our public meetings and we want the goal of them to be taking action and moving along, if there have been questions asked and there's no staff information, there's no student information, there's no closed session material information sent with those questions, if they're asked in advance, it shouldn't be a big deal to put it as an attachment to the agenda item, so then people can get the information, we don't have to have the full conversation in public, and we can keep things moving. So either way we go, that is my recommendation for how we do our meetings, is to have that piece available so that the public can then see that information and we can keep it moving.
Okay, I agree with Ms. Hannah, the comment that you made about this being board business. This is definitely board business, and this is why the board will make the decision on this. The fact that the administration brought this agenda, proposed agenda forward is due to the many requests of board members. Because of the way that the meetings go on for hours and a lot of times with a lot of redundancies, and this was an attempt to try to streamline the meetings. And I think that's a noble goal. I think it's something that we should work for. I'd like to see this pass. I think it's going to be a challenge because we need to actually improve the process of the way that the board operates. So I'm in agreement with everybody on that. I have a question about the micro meetings, okay? The micro meeting shows that meeting first, and then after that, the committee meetings?
That's correct. So it would essentially be on that evening, technically 3 meetings. And we say technically 3 meetings because the micro meeting it's a standalone regular meeting of the Board of Education. And that would be followed by the 2 committee meetings, Student Achievement and Operations. And as you all know, those are technically 2 meetings that always occur back to back.
Right. The only conflict I see with that is that when you have your committee meetings after the regular meeting, if there's something in the committee meeting that is timely and you really want to get it voted on, you don't have a chance to hear that before the regular meeting takes place, where the vote takes place.
In those situations, similar to how we've been operating the past couple of years, the committee meeting is held, the item is discussed at whatever length the board and the public decides to discuss the item, and then it's brought forward for vote the following week. So it would be operating in a similar vein. Now, we also know that you are permitted to vote on an item without it coming forward to the committee meeting first. So should there ever be an instance where we have something pressing and we want to bring it to the board to vote on it, because we know that happens from time to time, right? And not everything comes to the committee. Sometimes you just need to vote. And we wouldn't need to do a special meeting for it. It could be put on that agenda, right? And if that's the case, as we aim to do, we would be sure that the information that appears on the public board docs is robust so that individuals both on the board and in the community are well aware of what we're proposing, the ramifications of such, before bringing it forward for official vote in accordance with how the Open Meetings Act requires that we function.
And so that puts a burden on the administration to make sure that the material in the committee meetings is brought forward in a timely manner so that it doesn't have to have an emergency vote.
That's correct. The burden comes on the administration, and I think as an administration, we, and it was stated this evening, and it's probably accurate, need to improve some of our functions and how we do that. And we look forward with working with the entirety of the board to improve those functions so that we could make sure that we are working more efficiently, not just for the board, but for our staff and the community. That's something we owe the community, and we are committed to making efforts to improve that.
Okay, now I would like to see the functioning of the board become streamlined, become more efficient. And I think that the schedule, this proposed schedule that was presented to us is a good model. I would like to see that implemented, and with the caveat that we have to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Have to see if it works. And if there are problems with it, then, with the idea that we could always go back and amend the calendar if we had to.
Right. Board President, can I say one
Yes,
more
sir.
thing?
Mr. Riddle.
Mr. Alajakis, did I not also hear you say that one of the reasons that we would be doing this is in the past, when we needed special meetings, we couldn't seem to squeeze them in. This would give us that third Tuesday where we could do things like superintendent goals and things that we had to do.
That's
that
correct.
We've put off, for weeks because we can't get us together. So it gives us that open possibility that, we've got the second Tuesday, the third Tuesday is open for these special things that come up.
Yeah, that's correct. As the staff member who's often tasked with polling the board to find special meetings, I know it can be a challenge at times because we often will have that one free Tuesday, and we try to not overload the board. We want to be respectful of your time. So this will allow, where the timing is right, that third Tuesday of the month to be able to schedule those special meetings. And we know some of those items that we need to probably be doing a better job of making sure those are scheduled in advance. Things like goal setting, evaluations, things of that nature. That third Tuesday is going to free that up to be able to handle that business. And those will continue to operate as any of our special meetings do, as whether they're in open or closed session.
For no other reason, I support this change because we have oftentimes not done what should have been done timely, and it becomes late because we can't get together. We can't get the board together. We're meeting 3 times a month already, and then there's a 4th time, and we just can't get people together for it. And we could do these things that need to be done timely, special things that come up because we have that third open. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the motion? The motion is to support option 2, which is maintaining the current schedule. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Fabian?
No.
Ms. Hannah?
Yes.
Ms. Lensing?
Yes.
Mr. McBride?
No.
Ms. Ramirez?
No.
Mr. Riddle?
No.
President Rodriguez?
No. Motion fails.
Okay, I'd make a motion, Board President, to select the proposed new schedule, which is item 1.
Motion by Mr. Riddle
Second.
to support option number 1. Motion by Mr. Riddle, second by Ms. Fabian. Any discussion on this motion?
Yeah, I'd just like ask the question to the board members. Are you all aware of this? Were you all aware of this before tonight?
It was on the agenda.
Yeah, so you all have already been aware of it.
Yes.
Yes, we studied the agenda.
I just want to make a comment, and that is that someone said that, after 6 months, if it don't work, you go back. But I believe that you give everything a try, especially with under the circumstances why we even got to this point.
Not only give it a try, but this is the challenge to make us become more efficient.
Right, right.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Fabian?
Yes.
Ms. Hannah?
No.
Ms. Lensing?
No.
Mr. McBride?
Yes.
I'm sorry, yes.
Ms. Ramirez?
Yes.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
President Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries. We have now adopted option number 1 for the new schedule. Okay. We have another public comment. Do we have a sign-up sheet here? Thank you. Okay, just the additional names on the bottom? No. This is all, okay, because we have all the names, some of these people spoke earlier. Ray Vukovic.
Good evening. At the earlier meeting, I congratulated the outgoing board members. Now I'd like to congratulate the new members and those of you that are serving. One item that you did tonight, you elected a board president, a board vice president. You also reelected the board secretary. I'd like to point out, especially to the new members, that there's been a problem over the last 4 years with that board secretary being continuously late in getting the board minutes to the Board of Education and getting them filed on time, which technically puts you in violation of state law. I hope this board monitors that and doesn't allow that to happen again, because that's an embarrassment to this district. Mr. McBride, I agree with you about the staff members that have to sit here and wait for meetings to get over. The last 2 committee meetings, the board decided to shoehorn in another closed session, both meetings, 2 months in a row, that went over an hour late. You had staff members sitting in the audience waiting. You had audience members or public members that came to the meeting to participate that sat there because these meetings were called. I would hope that you don't go trying to shoehorn more special closed sessions in on these meetings, because it's not fair to the staff and it's not fair to the public. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vukovic. Ronell Ewing? No, thank you. Thank you, sir. Javier Granda?
I'm gonna come give you all something.
Thank you.
Hello, community members, board members, superintendent. My name is Javier Granda. I'm here representing Joaquin High School JHC, and I would like to formally invite you all to the awards night we will be having for JHC. This is an event designed to recognize the cadets of the Bulldog Regiment for all they've done through the year. This is also where they assign new positions to the new leadership, which will be running the next year JHC. It would be appreciated for all y'all to show up, as well as the superintendent has an award that she gives out every year. And I would like to see you all there if possible. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Rayon Edwards?
Good evening, community. I don't even really want to talk to this board because I don't know. Maybe it's me because I come to all of these meetings, but boy, y'all know y'all good. Baby, you done come into our district and you done gangster our city. Like we not even paying attention. But I'm going to talk to my people tonight. Jeff, and I need you to pay attention. Side hustling. You voted for everything to protect your child and you sacrificed 13,000 students for this mess. Then y'all recognize Rodriguez. See, you, Mr. Rodriguez, and you, Miss Hannah, y'all brought this cancer to our city. It done infected everything that's going on in our community. Because ain't nobody coming here, ain't no business coming here if the school district is not performing. Miss Ramirez, I'm so disgusted with you because me and you got a lot of conversations right here in my telephone. Well, you spoke deadly about Carolina Fabian, disgustingly. But I see you got right up on this board and got right in line. This is what y'all call an opportunist. And then you want to be the vice president. The nerve of you. How many meetings have you missed since you've been on the board? Because I ain't got my notepad here because I definitely got to count. Responsible? Didn't your son just bring a fake gun in our school? And you want us to trust you with our monies of our community and you can't even properly run your household, dear? I'm so disgusted. 47 years in this community and this is what y'all give me? My kids can't read. They can't write. They don't know how to do math. I don't want to hear about progress. Because Rodriguez, didn't you give us a resignation? You didn't care then, huh? Last piece of order, your business was getting this building together, so it was only right for y'all to have this first meeting in this building. I know a lot of y'all don't like the way I speak, and that's fine. But I'm well educated, very knowledgeable. I pay very good attention, and I do a lot of good research. And I'm putting all of y'all on notice. Jeff, I'm so disgusted. You broke my heart tonight, sir. Because all my life, for 47 years, I've respected you. And once upon a time, you did care about these kids. See, Mr. Riddle never cared. He pretended in the county jail because he was getting paid to deal with us black folk. He never cared. Outside of that, he ain't never walked in our community. He ain't never sat at a table with none of us. You ain't never came to them black babies event. And I've invited you to many. Stand by, because Ray Ray ain't not done. We just getting started. Good evening and congratulations.
Randy Sebecki.
All right, good evening. So as I stated earlier, we had a student bring a lookalike weapon to school at Jack Benny. That student of a board member sitting up here. How come the rules are different? So I put in a FOIA request, and I'm going to read that FOIA request because the math ain't mathing on this FOIA request. So I asked, in the last 10 years, the number of students that have been expelled from school for having a lookalike weapon. 4. And all 4 were expelled, including the kindergartner. 2, the number of expulsions hearings for lookalike guns at school and how many have been modified versus expelled in the last 10 years. Every expulsion has an expulsion hearing. I didn't ask that. 4 expulsion hearings for lookalike weapons, none modified. all were expelled. This one is where it gets me. Total number of expulsion hearings in the last 10 years for weapons or look-alike weapons that were not guns. How many were modified and how many were expelled? There were 513 total in 10 years in this district. Expulsion hearings in the last 10 years for weapons or look-alike weapons. Zero were modified, 9 expelled in the last 10 years. Now, I've been to every meeting in the last 4 years. And we have sat here this year, there's more, it says 0. We have modified more than that this year for look-alike weapons and weapons brought to school. So how is the information from the FOIA that this district presented me say 0? You guys all just took that oath of office. So ain't none of your kids different than anyone else's kids in this community. So I expect it be brought into, if it was modified by the superintendent, because I see it was not brought to the board for a mandatory expulsion hearing for a look-alike weapon at all. So it should be, and according to you guys, because you guys are all about following the policies. Remember the last meeting? Let's follow our policies. That's why we have them. And Mr. Riddle, Ms. Fabian, you voted for those policies, to follow those policies. So let's follow the policies. Same thing with you guys vote about our policies. What about handing your ID at that meeting, Mr. Riddle? Right after you said it, you handed your ID to Mr. McBride to get in a secure door, in and out. And then you told me after the meeting, well, you know, you worked at the jail. We did that at the jail. People, hold on. Did you work at the same jail that I worked at? Because central control controls all the doors. You have to push one button and go through one door to get through the next door. They all interlock. So you couldn't hold the door open for somebody else that wasn't authorized. Everything's controlled by cameras and central control. So see, when you're called out, then you get mad when you're called out because you don't follow the same policies. The same rules apply to you as everybody else. You make the policies.
Thank you, Mr. Zabecki. Margaret Carrasco.
Tonight, Waukegan School Board member Mr. Rodriguez, Michael Rodriguez, stated that you're dedicated to your position. However, with all due respect, sir, you in fact dumped your position as school board member in your previous term with no explanation to the community. You dumped your oath to serve the community. Next, Waukegan School Board member Carolina Fabian. You stated tonight in response to board member Christine Lindsay the importance of a board member to be respected, to the importance of the reputation, the importance of their behavior in public. Holy cow. Here we go. I recommend that the school board do as a county board does. They remove a member if they've been absent or zoomed to a meeting more than twice. I recommend to remove a board member who has the most DCF complaints or for leaving their minor home alone so they can go on all these conferences. To remove a board member whose child continues to bring a weapon or weapon look-alike to school. To remove the board member who is constantly seen drunk as a skunk in public. So embarrassing. To remove a board member whose child constantly is absent and late every darn day to school, but they cover up the school secretary and the president, the principal there. Okay. Solutions. You need to put a time limit, just as you put 3 minutes on us, 3 minutes on you. We do a response. Don't let a person talk for 20 minutes. 3 minutes, that's over. Your meetings will be finished right away. And the last thing, it should be mandatory that the superintendent's child attends the school district that she is employed and making zillions of dollars of. It is wrong, and it just tells you she's not dedicated to the school district neither. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carrasco. Get the agenda back up. Just waiting to get the agenda back up. Okay. Public comment. Item 8, we have nothing there. Number 9, board member time. Ms. Ramirez.
First and foremost, I would like to thank everyone for your support and your dedication to Waukegan Public Schools. I really appreciate everyone's personal support, everyone who's been here for me throughout the years. Collaboration and accountability is key when we have to move things forward. Strategically, we can move things forward, but that includes everyone in the march. Everyone has a part in what we have to do here. I hope to serve in a capacity that makes all Waukeganites proud, for the fact that I am very proud of the Waukeganites that I have produced, and the work that they continue to do in our community. Thank you.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes, I'd like to welcome the new board members, and thank you for putting your names forward and joining us. As you know, this is a job that is often thankless, but it is a very important job. I want to thank the outgoing board members who gave a lot of their time to, and all of us here care about children in our city, and we care about our staff, and we try to do the best for this district. We as board members do visit and our schools and do visit activities that our students are doing. Recently, April 17th, I visited the Tech and Trade Fair at Washington campus. I was very happy with the vendors that were there, giving our students an idea of what the work world is like, giving them an opportunity to find out where they might fit in our community and as they leave school in the next few years. While I was there, I actually met one of our students who had graduated the year before, Elvis Najera, and he told me I could speak to him about, or speak to you rather, about how he got his job at LMT. It's a company in Waukegan, who off of Belvedere, a company that is now owned by a German firm, but it was originally started some years ago in Libertyville, moved to Waukegan, and a year ago he met one of the representatives from that company. They make specific, very unique, they look like drill bits, but they're not drills. They're high-tech instruments. Anyway, he is working at that company 5 days a week, and they are sending him to school at CLC for 3 years at no cost to him. He was excited that he had met these representatives. He was doubtful, he said, last year whether he might even graduate. He said, I was a poor student, but my teachers had encouraged me to finish, get that diploma. And then he said when he got his diploma, he talked with one of the counselors and said, I talked with a company that said they were hiring. I think it was called LMT, and they referred him, gave him the information again, and he called that company, went for an interview, and was hired. And his boss was right there, and he said, he is now one of our best students that we're sending to CLC. So I just think it was a great opportunity for our students to get some ideas about companies in the area. Another company that I didn't even know about, I knew they're called Asco Noble. They're a paint company. They actually make paints. It's down on the lakefront just behind the marina. They were offering jobs. They said, we are hiring people. And again, they had a former student, not one of ours, unfortunately, but a student from Libertyville who was working with them. She was a representative, had just recently been hired by the company. And they make paints for airplanes. So it's a very specialized paint they make. And I asked them, what is their starting salary? And they said $25 to $26.50 an hour. That's their starting salary. And they are looking for students that would be interested in working for them. So anyway, that's one of the Tech and Trade Fair that I attended April 17th. Last week I went to the Mikvah Challenge, spoke to students who had done projects. I'm sure you may be familiar with the Mikvah Challenge. It's a great project that our students do. Got some good ideas from students about some of the concerns that they have about their school or about their community. and encourage some of them to come to our board meeting and make a presentation. We have had some in the past that have come to our board and further move their project along and got some of the concerns that they had brought them to reality, brought them to action, so they could move further than just creating their mikvah project. And thank you for inviting us to the JORTC, Junior ROTC Awards Banquet. My wife and I went last year. It's a fabulous and a very exciting event, and I would encourage other board members to attend. Again, the date is May 9th, and we plan to go again this year. Thank you.
Mr. McBride.
Yes, I want to say to the new board members, I'm looking forward to working with you. And I just want to speak for myself, to my board, as well as the captain audience, as the public. I've never thrown stones at nobody. If I have something to say, I keep it to myself. My mother told me, if you don't have nothing to say good, don't say nothing at all. And that's not never board member on here could say that Jeff McBride respected him. I always listen to your opinion. And then at the time to vote, I have a right to vote yes or no. And I vote according to my conscience. And I just want to say that as long as I sit on this board, I'm going to continue to be the same person, and I'm not going to change. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McBride. Thank you. Santa?
I just want to thank everyone for coming out, and tonight I was hoping that you all could see more of the building than just the first floor, but I'm sure at some point the community will be able to tour the building so that you can see where your tax dollars have been spent at. Other than that, Mr. Rodriguez, welcome. Ms. Ramirez, welcome. And we got a lot of work to do. And the only thing I'm saying, I'm going to stay passionate about my work, what I do here on the board. And there's going to be times when I'm going to get vocally passionate. But that's just who I am. And my passion is for the benefit. I'm not apologizing, very unapologetically. But we are here for students, for our students' education. We are not here. We are not here to promote, to hang on to continue the road that we have been on, which in my opinion, in my expert opinion as a board member, that we need to go in a different direction. I said it before, I'll say it again. There's major changes that need to take place. And just because we're in this brand new building, the issues outside this building still exist. And so those are the things that we need to be focusing on. Not one person, not what's beneficial to one person, but to our school district. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hannah. Ms. Lindsay?
Good evening, everyone. Congratulations to our new and returning board members. I think one of the focus points of this reconvened board or reorganized board is to really work on respect. Respect amongst the board, respect with the staff, respect with our community, respect with our students. No one is up here grandstanding. We are all here to advocate for the children in this district. I am tired of going to other communities and hearing trash talked about this city. We have great kids. This board should be pouring love into those children. Our staff, our teachers, our custodial, our secretaries, our paraprofessionals, everyone should be pouring love into these kids because they deserve it. So that needs to be our focus, is making sure they get what they need and they get the support that they deserve. So I hope we do take advantage of a board retreat. Miss Hannah has been saying this since before I was on the board. And it needs to happen. Because if we can't get it together as a group, we're not going to get it across the finish line for these kids, and that's not fair to them. In terms of some great things, speaking of pouring love into kids, was able to go to the Moana performances. I feel like the Walk Pack group within our district is doing a great job year after year. The audio was way better this year. We could hear the kids. It was great. So yes. Thank you. And I know there's going to be more performances to come. There are auditions for the next show, which is going to be Finding Nemo, happening on May 15th. So please check the socials for the QR code to get your kids involved with those. I am going to recommend that we start to look to expand and have maybe another program, maybe for older kids and younger kids, because I'm not going to lie, 60 to 90 kids to manage in a performance is a lot. So the love is there, the interest is there. Let's get them the opportunities so everyone can build and shine. I was also able to attend the Carmen Buckner Glow Show. Oh, those
Amazing.
It was amazing. The team did a great job. The students' art was fabulous. They did like glow face paint. It was really interactive. So I really commend Carmen Buckner. It was a great job. I was also able to go to Cook's Glow Show, and it was in tandem with their spotlight on their 2nd and 4th graders. Those kids did a really good job dressing up as famous people and giving the facts behind their biographies. It was just great to see. It was really good, very touching. Oh, that's fine. It's at board member time. It's my time. I didn't get to say it last time. I got cut short. And then I was also able to join the middle school music festival, just because we had a board meeting on the Tuesday. I only got to see choir and mariachi. The students did great. I would love to see these events packed. I drove by a softball game. I would love to see those stands packed. So if these kids are going to do well, we need to show up and support them. So I'm looking forward to more of those events this coming year. Thank you, community, for tuning in. Let's hope we have a really good next year. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Lindsay. Ms. Fabian?
Good evening. We talk a lot about trust, respect, and the negative perception of this district. And one of my main concerns is that our community, which includes our staff, our students, and even our own board members, believe accusations and then continue to circulate false rumors. And tonight, I don't want to spend a lot of time addressing concerns or accusations because I don't want to taint what should be a very positive moment and a good moment for our new board members. So instead, I do want to refocus on them and just say congratulations and thank you. And I really do look forward to working with you all, and hopefully we can elevate and streamline our board meetings so that we are able to conduct our business in a more respectful way. Additionally, as part of the foundation, I would like to invite everyone on next Tuesday, May 6th, at 3:30 until 7:30 to Encore Events, which is on York House. I think the address is 4555 Encore Events. It's for our foundation fundraiser. We have not had a fundraiser in quite some years prior to COVID. Our foundation does support scholarships for students, which we will be announcing the winners soon. And we also support teacher grants. And so those grants opportunities will be out before the end of the school year that any teacher in Waukegan Public Schools can apply for. But in order to give those scholarships and those grants out, we need to fundraise. So again, I invite you out on May 6th. 20% of all entrees or meal tickets will will be donated back to the foundation if you are not a Waukegan Public School teacher. If you are a Waukegan Public School teacher and you show up with your ID, you will receive 20% off of your entree. And then we'll also have some teacher gifts, some door prizes, and some drawings as well. So I encourage everyone to come out and support our foundation as it supports our students and our staff.
Thank you. Okay, I was able to attend a few events over the last few weeks. Mr. Silva, I really have to commend you. You, your staff, and your students did just an amazing job with your jungle show, the glow show, and you deserve a big round of applause. That was amazing. And this is the first time I've seen it, but I understand you've been doing that for a number of years. And you tell me that every year it gets bigger and better. I can hardly wait to see what it's going to transition into for next year. Is it absolutely? Yeah, you transform the school for that event. I was able to attend the Bravo Waukegan Middle School Music Festival, and I am just always impressed by the quality of instruction of our music teachers and just the professionalism of our students. You know, they get on stage and you watch these children, and for the time that you're watching them perform, you forget that they're children. They almost seem like professional musicians. Just amazing. So that's a program that we need to continue to support. Bravo Waukegan, they've done a lot for our school district, and we need to show our appreciation. And I notice that some of our numbers are going down in some areas in music. It seems that way to me. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I really think that we need to focus on promoting and nurturing our music program. Anybody here see The Addams Family? Not the one at the Genesee Theater, the one that our high school put on.
Amazing.
Did anybody know that show was taking place? Who here knew? 1, 2, 3 people out there knew that the show was taking place. I saw that show. It was Friday night, and it was just amazing. Our kids are so dedicated. They put themselves into that role, and you know, they're practicing for months just to put on, 3 or 4 shows? And what's really sad about it is that nobody knows about it. I'm sure that if some of you here knew about it, you would have been there. In fact, I found out by asking, and I found out when it was, and I had to ask questions about which nights and what times and all that. But I really, really think that we need to make it a point to promote events like that, because number one, you'll enjoy them. You'll get a kick out of it. I mean, the Addams Family shows is like watching a Broadway show. And secondly, our children work so hard. They need to be encouraged and recognized because they do so much work, and we need to show them that we really support them and really care about them. I just want to summarize what you've all witnessed here tonight. You know that in Illinois school code calls for every school district, except Chicago. Chicago is a separate animal, okay? Every school district in the state of Illinois has to have a board, a school board, of 7 elected members, okay? Elected by the voters. They're not appointed by anybody. It's not like Chicago where the mayor has appointed members for years. These are people that are elected by the voters. And so, those of you who are happy with the board members that you have up here, great, you probably voted. Some of you are not happy with the board members you see up here. Great, you probably voted also. And the thing about a board, any board, is that it's not a one-person board. It's set up for 7 people to serve because the people that established this whole arrangement figured that it's better to have different people from different backgrounds, different points of view, different perspectives on the board. And this board has members of all ages, has members, different ethnic groups, different races, and different backgrounds and different points of view. And you are always going to see differences of opinion. Some people are going to get a little bit heated at times because everybody here has a passion for what they're doing. Nobody's up here just because. Everybody that's up here in one way or another is dedicated to wanting to see the best for our students, for our children. But the way that everybody sees, that everybody views the best way to get there may be different. Everybody's got different ideas, but that's good because people here on this board are going to say things that I never thought of. And I'll say, hey, that's really a great idea. I wish I had thought of that, but I didn't. Somebody else came up with the idea. And that's why we're here as a board, to come together, to all express our points of view, our concerns, what it is that we want, what we want to see done, and then discuss it and vote on it. And then the majority rules. Whatever the majority decides, that's what all of us here are sworn to support. We may not agree with something that the majority of the board votes on. I've been in the minority a number of times during my 12 years on the board. And there are times when I just didn't agree. But you know what? When I'm out in public, I support the decision of the board because it's the board decision. I'm a member of that board, and I'm sworn to support the decision of the board. So anyway, after the election takes place and the members of the board that are elected by the voters are seated, then you saw democracy in action. You saw the members of the board select their leaders. Now, you may not agree with the choices that were made, but these choices were made by the members of the board that were elected by the voters. So, if you want to see changes on the board, some of you here ran for board, Mr. Shepard ran for board, Mr. Sabecki. I know you're both very passionate about what you say and your points of view and your positions. I hope you both run again because I think you have a lot to offer and a lot to contribute. And I sit here and I listen to people's comments and I hear things that are painful, things that hurt, and sometimes people speak without knowing all the facts. And that's okay because everybody here has a right to address the board. And as long as this board convenes in open session, we will ask for public comment. Regardless of how pointed it is, regardless of how painful it is, you will have a right to address the board. This is also democracy in action, First Amendment rights. So I just wanted to summarize what we did here tonight, what we saw tonight, and I want to congratulate, first of all, Ms. Hannah and Mr. McBride, the top vote getters every time. Congratulations for your re-election and for your years of service. Ms. Ramirez, newly arrived on the board, congratulations to you, welcome. I know I got to meet you and learn a little bit about you while you were running for the board, and I'm sincerely convinced that you have a lot to offer the board and that you will serve with passion and conviction.
Thank you.
And the board members that were not running for re-election, thank you for all the hard work that you do. And I know that you will continue to do the work that is put before you. And I'm very honored. I'm very honored to be here. I did serve before. And, back in 2019, October, I became ill. November, December, I was very ill. And this was at the beginning of COVID. I didn't know what was happening, but I was becoming more and more ill. I was still attending meetings, sitting in a corner coughing and trying not to look sick. Finally, in January, I was diagnosed with pneumonia. This was right at the very beginning of COVID. And at that point in time, things looked very bleak for me. My whole frame of mind was not good. I had a lot of commitment to my family and to my business, which I still am involved in. And because of that, I felt that it was in the best interest of the board and for me and my family for me to step down. And that's why I resigned. I submitted my resignation in January of 2020. I don't know if I had COVID, but it was right at the beginning of COVID and I was ill for a long time. And as time went on, I realized that wasn't the end of the line for me. I recovered, and I continued working. I've been involved in other responsibilities for the city. I served on the Planning and Zoning Commission, which is another volunteer position, for 16 years as its chairman. And I made a decision with my family that I would run again. And whether I won or lost, I decided I would give it all my best. And I'm very grateful that I was reelected. And I can assure all of you that I will serve with respect and with dignity and with respect for the community and for all the board members. And I vow to you that I will work with all of you. Ms. Hannah and I had a conversation last week. We got together over coffee. At least I had coffee. She had, what did you have, iced tea? And, just to talk. Because I want to have common ground with everybody on the board. I want to be able to say that I reached out and that I did my best to make this board work together as a team. That is one of my major goals. And with the help of all the board members here, we'll accomplish it. We skipped over number 8, but we're not going to forget it. It's recognition of outgoing board members. And I'm going to turn the mic over to our superintendent.
Thank you, Board President Rodriguez. Mr. Elizakis, can you please ask exiting President Ewing and Ms. Gonzalez if they can please come to the front? You want me to go down there? It's going to work. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for your patience. I was going to write a speech, and as I sat at my computer to write one in regards to, I'm going to call them Brandon and Adriana, if you don't mind, because we're all on a first-name basis. I said I didn't need to sit and write a speech because I knew in my heart what I wanted to say to both of you. There's many times that we miss the mark in Waukegan Public Schools. There's many times that we need to stretch further. There's many times that we need to be patient for the results or may react too quickly. There's many gaps that can be filled, but there's also strengths. And so when I look at Brandon and Adriana, they're our strengths. They're the bulldogs. They represent the alumni and the students that come from our community. They walk with integrity. They stretch us. They keep us accountable. Their first and foremost priority has always been the students from day one. They were never afraid to speak their mind. They were never hesitant to lend a hand to a board member. They've touched so many lives, not only in this boardroom and among their peers, but in our schools, in our community, and in our district in general. They have pushed us to be greater. They have prayed for us to be greater. And without them, we would not be where we are now. And these two, I hope you don't mind me saying it this way, but these two young individuals that are so active in our community and are so passionate for us to work together to improve lives across the Waukegan community, teach us lessons every day. And I want to talk about one lesson that our board president has modeled for all of us, but has instilled in me, which is diplomacy. And there's many ways to get to the point that we're trying to get. But it doesn't have to be a vertical line there. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. And he's always made decisions with the least disturbance on the system to protect the education of our kids. And I want to acknowledge that, and the principals, the administrators, the teachers, all of the staff in Waukegan recognize that. Now I'd like to speak to your parents for a minute, if you don't mind, President Ewing. You guys knocked it out the park with this young man. And you should be so very proud of his heart, his intent, his impact. His yes is his yes, his no is his no, and you never have to wonder where Brandon Ewing stands, because he's going to tell you whether he agrees with you or disagrees with you. He's going to take on the tough battles, and he's going to sacrifice himself for others, to the point where I'm sure he has sacrificed himself from his own family. And I also want to thank Monique for giving you to us and your children for the time that you missed, and you put other children before your own. And that is not lost on anybody in District 60, and I know it's not lost in the Waukegan community. Adriana, I can't say it better than Mr. Riddle. You're a pillar of integrity. And Mr. McBride, thank you. Sometimes people may say Adriana is harsh in what she says, but she sticks to her moral core. She does not back down, and she backs it on why she is voting this way, or why she believes a certain thing should go this way. She has been an advocate for less police in schools, to ensure that academic achievement increases, to ensure that students have a voice, to ensure the staff has a platform where they can voice concerns and also give recommendations. And I want to thank you for your time, because I know there was times when you wanted to give up, and you continued to fight and strive for the Waukegan community. So can you both stand, if you don't mind? On behalf of the Waukegan Community Unit School District 60, this plaque says it recognizes Mr. Brandon Ewing for the service as a member of the Board of Education from 2017 to 2025. Congratulations, exiting President Ewing, and you will always be a board president in Waukegan Public Schools.
All right, yeah.
Our second plaque is to Miss Adriana Gonzalez, and it reads, Waukegan Community Unit School District 60, sorry, I need some water, recognizes Miss Adriana Gonzalez for their service as a member of the Board of Education from year 2021 through 2025. Congratulations, Miss Gonzalez. Now I'm going to make a joke. One of the reasons we changed our board meetings to a different day to, I'm going to say, induct our new board members, was because on the first board meeting that Brandon Ewing sat in, and he was being inducted, is that correct? I believe you waited, what, 4 hours? 10 o'clock? Well, we had to keep with the same model and exit you the same way. So I apologize that, President Ewing, but that's something that he always states and makes a joke about that he had to sit here, you know, the entire night before he was able to join the board. And I apologize that you had to sit the whole night before you exit the board. So at this time, we're going to take a quick picture, and I'm going to ask your parents, Ms. Gonzalez, if you have anybody in the audience that would like to come up and take a picture with us. And if the board can stand up. And then we're going to release you to enjoy life.
Cupcakes.
Cupcakes.
and have cupcakes that are in the back. Thank you for your service to Waukegan Public Schools.
Out of the way here.
I don't know if we should all be in it. I don't know.
All right, let's all. I was gonna get out.
So you can't see my phone can't see you. Extra paperwork. Who's hiding it, Miss Baby?
I think, Angela, come on back over here.
Bring it back in. This, can you see Hannah? This over halfway back. No more. One, two, three.
All right.
Okay, we are still in session. We are still in session.
Oh, yeah, we're still in session, that's right.
Yes.
What we got?
Working with kids.
I think that's extra. No, that's yours.
I think we're,
Okay, we'll have time to take pictures and chat a little bit.
Motion to close.
Brandon, Mr. Ewing, Ms. Gonzalez, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to serve with you this time around, but I will say one thing. You know, as I was running, when people asked me why I was running, the two of you were one of the reasons. Why? I told everybody there were two excellent board members that were stepping down, and I just felt that I wanted to get in and work side by side with these board members to continue the work that you had been doing.
Right.
So you were both an inspiration to me.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Take a well-deserved rest, you guys, but not too long.
Now,
Adriana's not off the hook.
item 10.
Couple days, maybe a couple weeks.
Motion to close.
I'd like to call for a motion by Mrs. McBride.
Second.
Second by, who was the second from Ms. Lensing? To adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned
Thank you. Thank you, Board President.
at 9:14.